MC and welcome to Birmingham. I'm at the NEC for the Classic Restoration Show. I've been invited along by Motel and I'm here to see what classics and quirky stuff that I can find, because I love classics myself, and a lot of the time you see something a little bit unusual at these kind of classic shows. So I'm walking through the car park to get to the NEC so I can do a bit of spotting, talking about unusual. Check out the side pipe on the Morris Traveller. I could have easily taken the free shuttle bus to get in to the NEC, but what's better than car spotting? There's a Triumph Dolomite there. There's this bonnet with some hands on it. I'll also be getting some photos for my Instagram as well whilst shopping around. Oh look, MX-5 with a number 4 on it. We've got a retro wooden wrap on the back of this Mini. And all the way from the 80s we have this Lotus XL. This one, the SA, probably standing for super amazing. But now that we have arrived at the Great Hall, let's have a look around at some of the classics on display. So Motel are the main sponsor of this show, and it's specifically about restoration. So you'll see a lot of unfinished projects as well as finished projects. So I'm looking for the more quirky projects in the show. So we've got this Rothmans liveried Porsche 924 and then the 928 over here as well. But straight away we have this trio of liveries Jaguar XKs. This one represents America, and each sticker has been individually purchased for charity with little notes and messages on, like Adam and Jeb. There are quite a few Jags on display in this section, including the Maguire's Jaguar S-Type R. This one has been converted to manual because they never came in manual, the S-Type Rs. And even more boxy 80 Lotuses. We've got the Excel and an Elite next door. We have the Reliant Owners Club, supporting Britain's finest fiberglass cars, obviously other than my Dax. Talking of fiberglass, more fiberglass on the Bond Bugs. My granddad had one of these. There's a very simplified chassis, and this Austin has shrunk in the wash. Seems someone's taken this car for a literal spin and it's ended up upside down. There may well be its chassis. And these chaps appear to have taken their work with them. They're panel bashing as we speak. This chap's lying on the floor to be painted like a French girl. On my walk around, I have found a lot of Volvos, my favourites of which are these P1800s. I suppose this one was owned by Roger Moore, hence the chair and the Roger Moore. Oh, there we go, he drove it on TV. Steve Clements has brought his Volvo cab, and this one's purposely had leaves sprinkled on it. As we will see at various parts around the show, the term barn find is actually a desirable collector's item, so they've specifically put leaves on this Volvo to make it look more of a barn find, in a similar way that they've chosen not to clean this Fiat Coupe. So there will be polar opposites today. We've got this Simca in this condition, and then cars like this Fiat 128 in mint condition. And I have never seen a Skoda medallion before on a bonnet. And behind, I think we've got Mike Brewer giving a talk about cars and classics and stuff. There he is, swiveling on his chair, chatting to the people. There is a stunning mustard-coloured two-tone Bel Air next to a Mustang GT. And this, the self-proclaimed Great Barbarian with a big block Chevy up front. And before this gets restored, they've written what needs doing. So things like cracks in the exhaust manifold, inner wing rust, handbrake mount fatigue, and rusting suspension mounts. You can see a quick before and after on this Rover. These guys have been working on this Rover for so long that this poor chap inside has died. Spirits are high though. There's a Power Ranger on the Rover 25. And we have now reached a very colourful section. This is, and I'm not joking, this is the gay classic car group. So homosexual owners of classic cars have joined together to show off their pride and joys, and there's a lot of colours involved in the cars as well as their balance. We've got stickers like Real Groovy and a Saab who has managed to duplicate its front bumper. We have a sizable camera crew filming an MGB GT, very good choice. I believe him to be one of the mechanics from the Smallest Cog, so they're filming some episodes in here today. Oh, there we go, Smallest Cog Racing, MGB. I have actually found Richard Hammond in the MG Car Club, chatting to the members. He's actually pretty incognito in there because not a lot of people have noticed. I mean, she's just had a look. Now the camera crew have moved, I think more and more people are asking for autographs and selfies. So this is the MG Young Car members. We've got this rubber bumper GT with a 1.6 Mazda MX-5 engine. We have the MGC next door to that, so it's got the straight 6. Got an MGB GT, a bit like mine, but in British racing green. And then this is the Smallest Cog MGB GT. This is Hammond's one that he bought and used on the last ever episode of Top Gear, and it's now been restored. And they've actually done this like last night, put the Smallest Cog branding over it, and he's kind of made it into a track car. So it's got just the one seat inside. It's currently not got any windows, and they are here filming episodes of the Smallest Cog with the MGB, trying to get younger people more into classic cars, because obviously I was 19 when I bought my MGB, Kieran was 19 when he bought this MGB, and we have the young MG car members with an Italian job styled Abingdon job MGB poster that I quite like. So we now arrive at the Motel stand, which is one of the main sponsors of the show, and getting most of this attention is this Mark 1 Escort with the turbocharged Cosworth engine, looking remarkable with that red stripe, red roll cage inside. And then we have this Morris Minor, and the plan for this car is to turn this into a hill climb beast. So a lot is going to be done. It's still got its original engine at the moment. You should see a lot more from this car coming soon, hopefully this year. So we have another hall to look around, which immediately presents us with some fast fours. We've got the Sierra Cosworth and a whole section over here with Sierras and Escorts, including this Series 1 RS Turbo with white engine components. And in the workshop, a demonstration of how to detail a car. We have even more detailing going on, this time on a turquoise E36 Cabriolet. That is actually a stunning colour. Someone will be able to tell me in the comments exactly what the colour name is. But you'll notice the interior is actually a dark blue. This next section is quite an interesting one. As you can see, it is labelled Barn Finds. It is a display of barn found vehicles. So we've got straws and hay everywhere. It's quite the opposite of dressing to impress. These cars have been kept in quite a sorry state. Even that Mini, look how unhappy he looks. There's a Purity Bradford's little truck here. I think it was an ice cream van. It does look like, look, there's an ice cream scoop there positioned on display. There's a horse box, there's the Mini. And take a look at this Wosley. Not only does it only have one headlight on, it's also a hearse. But passing through all these barn-found vehicles, some of which were probably not found in a barn. I mean, that one looks like it's lived outside for a lot of its life. We have this Escort Cabriolet that, in my eyes, almost looks like an E30 BMW with those twin headlights. This has a full Riga F40 style wide body kit and looks amazing. It is, of course, a cabriolet. It's got the bucket suits, a bit of a brace bar over the top, and a skateboard in the back with a picture of itself on. I mean, it is fast forwards galore over here. Another Mark 1 Escort. There's a Mark 1 Focus RS in the background. In fact, this is the cleanest Mark 1 Focus RS that I've ever laid my eyes on, and that is not an exaggeration. There is not a mark under the bonnet and under the car itself, as you can see through the mirrors. Oh, I love this. I absolutely love things like these. Metal wall signs and porcelain wall signs. Oh, there's an Iron Man. And here we go, probably one of the best cars of the lot. We have this RWB Porsche 911. I'm not sure if this is the one I've seen before, but it's probably one of my favourite 911s out there. Very vibrant orange paintwork. You see those rear arches stick out by about a foot. You've got airflow guided off the arch into the rear ducting. And yes, guys, the vents do vent. I'm loving the aero disc wheels too. And even an itsy bitsy model of itself on the dashboard. Also, just in front of the RWB Porsche, we have this Beetle and this Golf, but not all is what it seems. They have been shortened. Yes, we'll come off to the Golf later. But we have this shortened Beetle with half of a door. I think the door still doors, although I don't know how easy it is to get in through the doorway. Looks like they've even modified the roof so that it still works with the shortened wheel frame. Then behind it, don't worry, the Escort has not been shortened. This Volkswagen Golf is the craziest looking vehicle that I've ever seen. It looks like a Photoshop, but I promise you it is not. This guy is completely confused as to what he's looking at. The Golf has no doors whatsoever, so you just climb in no matter what. And not only is it one of the craziest Golfs that I've ever seen, it's one of the cleanest too, with the Weber carbs out front. In a way, the Golf gives a lot of vibes that this car also gives, although I do not know what this car is called. It's called a Frisky Sport. There you go. This is the Frisky register, so all of these cars are extremely and utterly frisky. frisky, especially this one. I'd imagine it'd be quite risky to restore a frisky. This frisky looks almost like a 50s Le Mans car, just a bit squishy. That awkward moment when you open your stupidly large sunroof and your surfboard falls inside your Volvo. Seems we're all loving Volvos here. I do love a Volvo, especially in estates. This one's got a walking stick on it. And I have just found this Lister Le Mans. This car was capable of over 200 miles per hour. Obviously based on a Jaguar XJS, Lister worked a lot of their magic. Look, it's manual as well, with a 7-litre V12. We've also got an auction going on today, and check out this hot rod. No, it is not a V8. That is a supercharged V12. You've got the 6 headers going down to the exhaust at the side with no silencing whatsoever. I'm not sure if I've ever seen an open V12 at the front of a hot rod, especially a supercharged V12. It's a Jag V12 on what looks like some kind of T-bucket chassis. That is crazy. And take a look at this section. This is the hub nut section, who celebrate the average. So they've got a Vauxhall Cavalier. We've got a Ford Fairmont, which is essentially a posh Ford Falcon, and then a Ford Crown Victoria. I love the average cars like this. Like when you tell a kid to draw a car, this is the shape that he comes up with. And now at the Paddock Life section, some of the lesser practical classics at the Practical Classics show. We've got this gorgeous Ferrari Dino just beyond the Lotus Esprit Turbo, red with the golden pinstripe and wheels to match. Also on their stand is an MGB GT, which is midway through a restoration. I mean, I'm glad mine's no longer in this state, but it's exciting to know what this may become. Oh, I heard an applause. I think Hammond's on stage. Being a bit of a MG car nut myself, I'm back at Hammond's car and the MG Car Cup for the young members, and I've been hopping in this K-Reg MGB GT, so it's a year older than mine, so it's slightly different, but has a lot of similarities, and I've also signed it. Rather randomly, I have signed the sun visor, so you've got my autograph and then my kind of old style logo, so that was quite the honour. But here we are inside an MGB, my kind of familiar place for me, and again I sit kind of perfectly in here. It's very nice. British Racing Green, tan interior. It's good. And whilst I had the absolute honour of signing Kieran's sun visor, not only did that happen, but Richard Hammond came back and he signed it right next to my signature.
That's Adam's say and me too, any way you like.
So we've got now my signature next to Richard Hammond's signature, and afterwards I got a cheeky selfie with the hamster. So what a great conclusion to a great day with Motel at the NEC Practical Classic show. So throughout the last few moments of today's shows, I'm going to look out for anything I may have missed, like the TVR Car Club, who have this chassis of an early TVR 350i wedge. So similar to the car I used to have, this is what it was like underneath the body. And now there's not as much of a crowd, it's easier to see things like this, which is a Mazda MX-5 underneath. It's been turned into a single-seater Alfa Romeo Tipo homage. But I have now left the NEC. I think I've seen everything, or as many quirky finds as I could discover. So I'm going to head back to the car, through the car park, see what I can see, and then conclude the day. So around the corner, in what I can only presume is a hotel car park, we've got a Guards Red 996 GT3. The car park is nowhere near as full as it once was, but check out this for a pair of escorts. And well, look at that, quite the sticker showcase on the back of this. Moving as fast as I can. And bang smackaroony in the middle, we've got every petrol head's guilty pleasure, the Renault Aventime, or the Renault Aventime to me and you. It's a quirky variant of the Renault Espace, built as some kind of people carrier coupe, is part of the wheels turned for great photos. And the owner of this Duke has brought the wrong car today. But due to the fact that there's not actually really any cars left in the car park, just this 2CV behind me, I think I'm going to head back home. Oh, look, another 2CV. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I got to meet Richard Hammond for the first time and sign a sun visor alongside his autograph too. So quite the special day. So a big thanks for Motel for inviting me along to the event. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to check out Adam C. Fest. There's some links in the video's description about my show that I'll be hosting in the summer. Look forward to inviting all of you along, even Mr. Hammond if you're watching, which I doubt. So follow me on Instagram for all the photos I take at these events and the updates and highlights. That's I do. But for now, thanks for watching.